Hey everyone, it's Paige. We're back for another YouTube video today. I am in St. Charles, Illinois for the Golf Give Gala. It's Michael Phelps's charity event. The last 2 years it was Michael Phelps and Jason Day, but this year it's just Michael, and so excited to be here. It's such an awesome event, and we are at Royal Fox Country Club, or Golf Club, Country Club? Royal Fox Country Club, and we have kind of a free day, so I thought I'd come out and we would talk about awkward distance bunker shots. I know I've done a bunker tutorial, and I'll kind of run through just the basics of how to hit a good bunker shot, but I really want to focus on that awkward distance, kind of that longer 40-ish yards, and then you can kind of adjust it from there. So it's one of the hardest shots in golf, and it's still really difficult. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of touch, but I'll give you some tips that have really helped me, and I hope that it will also help you. And I also am going to do a couple of putting drills for fun at the end, so stay around for that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of golf videos, a lot of other things as well, so be on the lookout for everything every Thursday. You can find me, so don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so when you're doing a bunker shot, it's similar to the flop shot technique that I've showed you in previous videos. I usually take a lofted club like a 54 or a 58, whatever your preference is. I choose to use a 54. I feel like I can control it better. So what you do is you put it forward in your stance. Ball would be helpful. Forward in your stance, open the club, hands low, lean forward, turn back and really cock your wrists, throw them, and turn through with your body. That is just kind of your basic bunker technique for short bunker shots that you really want to spin, or if you have like a high lip and you want to get it over the lip, that's what it's great for. For a longer bunker shot, the technique changes slightly, and I'll show you a couple ways to hit a longer bunker shot. One way is you can keep your lofted club, make your club a little bit more square, and then hit it from there, and I'll show you examples. Okay, so this is a longer bunker shot. I would say this is around 35 yards with a more lofted club like my 54. So this is when you're going to have more of a square face, still forward of center, still lean forward, and you're going to do pretty much the same technique, but not as much wrist cock and not as much throwing, because you don't want to have it go short with a ton of spin. So I'll show you what it looks like. So as you can see, it was pretty good technique. You don't want to grab as much sand as if you would for, like, this is what I would do for a short bunker shot. You can see that I took kind of like a dollar bill length, that's what I normally tell people, behind the ball and just go through it. You don't want to do that on a longer bunker shot. You want to feel like you're hitting it a little closer to the ball. The one thing you need to be careful about when you think of that is that if you do hit it really close to the ball, you're going to hit it thin and it will not be good. So this is where it comes to, honestly, just a lot of practice. Yes, there's technique involved, and you have to kind of know what you're doing, but it comes down to touch, feel, and practice, and the only way you get touch is by hitting a ton of shots. So I would say find a bunker where you can hit these long shots at a practice area, and that's the best advice I could possibly give you. Different types of sand will also kind of determine how you hit the shot. The sand is pretty wet, so you don't have to hit it as hard to get kind of through it. It more just comes out more like off of a like a dirt path. That's kind of what this feels like. So that's what you do with a more lofted club. I'm going to show you a alternative that's easier and should be more consistent for you. Okay, so another alternative way to hit a longer bunker shot is to have a less lofted club. You can hit this with really anything that you want that is less lofted than, say, your 54 or your 58. So I have my gap, which is my 50, and then I also have my pitching wedge. These are my go-tos. I've seen a lot of people hit even like an 8-iron or a 9-iron, but the technique is all the same. Again, you just have to practice and see which one fits you best. So I'm gonna grab the pitching wedge. So with the pitching wedge, this is more of a chip shot, actually. Very easy to do, more consistent than, say, the more lofted club, which takes a lot of practice on where you enter the sand and the technique that you use. This, it's pretty much just normal setup, kind of weight forward. I like to have my feet kind of open to the target. Just feels more comfortable, like a chipping technique for me. And basically what you do is just kind of pick it and hit a chip shot. So it's really simple to do, gets the ball out there, gets the ball running, maybe not as high as obviously your more lofted club, but there's not much of a lip here, and usually with bunkers like this there isn't much of a lip, and if there is a big lip, sometimes your objective is just to get it out. So this is just a really good shot that you can do that kind of runs, gets out. It's super easy, it doesn't take really any effort. The nice thing about this is, like, you have to understand that this is a really hard shot and you're not looking to hit it within a couple feet all the time, and sometimes you just want to get it out there. This is an easy way just to get it out. No stress. I know a lot of people have a lot of stress and anxiety when they're in the bunker. It's very difficult for them, and so these are really easy shots that you can just get out and either try to get on the green. Super simple. Like I said, you can do this with a more lofted club or a less lofted club. Basically all you're doing is just little chip shots. And I'm grounding my club just because we're practicing, so don't be all up in my comments about how I'm grounding my club right now. You can see I don't really have any stress when I'm hitting this shot. It's just a very simple chip shot. If you want to get a little bit more loft on it, but you like the feeling of a less lofted club, then you just open your face a little bit more. Add a little bit more wrist cock. Super simple, super easy. I think this is the best way to get out of the bunker stress-free. So that's what I do. Hope you enjoyed those tips, and now let's head over to the putting green. Okay, so we're now on the putting green. I've done a putting video before where I talked about tempo. You might remember 1 potato, 2 potato. I got so many comments about that, and you guys really seem to love that, so I'm glad that that was a very helpful and easy tip for you. I also showed you some drills, and I'll link the video down below so you can go back to that. I want to talk about something that's, I feel like I have learned with putting, and it's a very personal experience for everyone, and there's no really right or wrong way to hit a putt. Well, I mean there's certain technique that you need to have, but it's more about what feels good to you. Some people hit what they call kind of a slice putt, and that's when it kind of comes across it, and that works for some people. And then some people like to hit a draw putt. You might remember this from Brooks Koepka. He had an interview and they asked him how he has improved his putting, and he said, you know, I'm feeling like I'm hitting draws now with my putter. And some people might not really know what that means, so what he is saying is, instead of a slice putt, which I just showed you where I kind of come across it, you almost feel like you're taking it more on the inside and kind of pushing your hands up, and then you feel like you're coming from the inside and turning it over, and that's kind of how you hit your draw putt. I tend to more slice it or come across it. That's what feels comfortable to me, and it really is just what feels good to you. So if you feel like you have a really inconsistent miss, do some drills where you can see where your club face and path are doing. So there are training aids that you can buy where it shows you exactly what your path is doing. Everything for the most part is going to most good putters have an arc this way. No one really takes it back and straight through. Some people can come across it slightly, but for the most part, your putter kind of does this. And so that's why it feels a little bit more like you're hitting a draw, because it does turn over, the toe turns over. So if you want to work on that, you can get one of the swing training aids where you can work also on your setup and your alignment. One really easy thing you can do is check where you're standing over it. Is you can stand here where you feel comfortable and then drop a ball from your eye and see where you're standing. You don't want to be too over top of it where your eyes are up here, or even too back where your eyes are back here. Again though, what makes a great putter? Confidence. That's the most important thing. So if you're draining everything and you're standing like this, it really doesn't matter. With putting, setups are vastly different. You can see that from Jack Nicklaus all the way to Tiger. So Tiger is probably the more kind of standard. Arnold Palmer. They're all very different, but they've all worked for them because they have that confidence, and that's the most important thing. So don't be too worried on what you're doing wrong. Just be focused on making putts, focusing on your line, how to read them, which I have gone over in another video, but I'll just quickly kind of go over my routine and how routine is very, very important to putting. So my routine, I've done this now for pretty much, I would say, most of my golfing career. It has worked for me, and I'll just show you quickly through it and how it helps me and why having a routine is very important. So when I go back behind it, I first mark my golf ball, I'll pick it up, and then I'll walk back here and I'll get my first initial look on how I think it is going. Okay, so I see it breaking a little bit to the left. Then I walk around it, make a big circle, and I look from this angle. I look on this side, I look over there, and I'm analyzing everything around to see if there's any mountains that might be breaking from, any water, anything like that. And then I come all the way back around here, and I look behind it, and just to see if there's doing anything different, what's going on, and then I'll walk around this way. Again, same process, looking out for anything that I should be noticing. I walk straight into the center of my putt, so halfway between the hole and the ball, and I'll do some practice swings to see what it's doing right here, to see how it's breaking. And then I'll come back, look at it. Just imagine that I just put my ball down, I'll line it up, look down, come up, take a deep breath, walk in, 2 practice strokes, look at the hole, step in with my left foot first, right foot center, look, and as I'm looking, I'm kind of getting my grip. I come down, look one more time, come back, then I hit the putt. That's my routine every single time I putt. It's good to have a routine because it makes you consistent, but it also helps you under pressure and kind of keeps your mind off of bad thoughts, especially in putting. So when I'm doing my entire routine, other people are putting, so I'm not just standing here thinking like, oh gosh, what if I miss this 4-footer? Or, you know, I don't let the negative thoughts creep in. I'm sort of just focusing on what I'm doing. It also saves time too, and so you already have your routine, you're all set, and then as soon as you get up, you know exactly what you're doing, you're ready to go, you're ready to play quickly, and you don't have time to think of like, what if I miss this, what happens here? You're just ready to go, you're ready to make the putt, and you're focused in. Same with the pre-shot routine on your full swing. It's just really important to have, but especially on putting, work on your full routine. So instead of hitting drills where you're just hitting 3-footer after 3-footer after 3-footer, I don't think that's the best way to practice. I think the best way to practice is to emulate what you're going to do on the golf course. And so play 9 holes of putting, 18 holes, try to go without a 3-putt, whatever your goal might be. Maybe you play 18 holes, you want to make 5 one-putts, or you don't want to have a 3-putt. Make fun little games where it's challenging yourself, but you also have to practice going through your routine. That's the best way to get better. I explained that in my last chipping video as well. You want to make it as realistic as possible when you're practicing, so when you get on the golf course, it's not scary. So say I'm doing a 3-footer drill where I see people do this all the time. And I've done this too, and there are some benefits to it, maybe like getting the sound, hearing that sound, getting some confidence, just seeing the putt continuously drop in. But it's difficult because say you're hitting this putt, what'd you notice? My feet didn't move. I'm coming in, I'm grabbing it, I'm not even really setting up, and so all of a sudden when you're on the golf course, you don't just go like this and then hit it. So when you go through your routine for the first time, it's difficult. It takes you out of what you've been practicing, and that's not a really effective way to practice. Instead, you put balls all around 3-footer and you go through your routine every single time. You take the time, you go through it, so when you're out on the golf course, it feels exactly like what you've been practicing. When it does come down to pressure, say you're trying to break 90 for the first time, 80, 70, whatever it may be, 100, you have that putt for a 89, you've never shot that before, you're going to be prepared because you've gone through your routine, you're ready, you're confident, you're good to go, and it's not even going to faze you. So always remember to practice smart, do your routine, go through it, and have confidence with putting. That's the biggest thing by far that I can tell you, is rhythm and confidence. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. We talked a little about bunkers, some putting. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. I love reading all of your comments, so comment down below on what you want to see next or what you enjoyed in this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next Thursday.